Oops. Forgot to put myself on the screen. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody is having a fantastic day today on the second day of wild rocket fires and bombings and all that. Hey, everybody. Hello. I'm here. I'm right here. I'm right here. Stop asking me where I am. I'm right here. Let's see if my microphone is properly picking this up.
Wow. Can you hear me?
I think so. Yes. All right. So, yeah. Here I am. Wait a minute. Let me read this. Shalom, Am Yisrael. Oh, that's what it says, right? I read it. I did it. Yeah. All right. Hello, everyone. What's up? Why is Israel mentioned in the Quran? Because the Quran stole everything from the non-Arab peeps. That's why that's why it's in the Quran. And it tried to adopt Christianity and Judaism, but then it's like, gets everything wrong, and so on. It's really messed up. Shalom aleichem, AP. Shalom to you too. You can read? No, I'm just kind of trying to get a little bit into learning to read Hebrew, actually. So pathetic little attempts. Took a little break. After that, shalom. Okay. I don't know what that is. Something with... Wait, does that say goyim? Oh, man. What is that? That is ger shalom shalom, something like that. It's probably nothing, probably completely unrelated. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Man, now you're tempting me all with this kind of stuff. I can't just yekol la I don't know. I have no idea. It something. No idea. Let's see. What does this say? Can you... No, can't. Sorry. Yeah. AP almost got it. Says. So what did it say? What did it say? Did that really say? Are you able to read this in Hebrew? That's funny. Okay. That's funny. But how much did I get it right? Was it like much of it, or only half, or less than half, or only two? I don't know. Yeah, my Mossad handlers were also paying me to make all these videos defending Israel. Otherwise, I don't care about Israel. Why would I care about Israel? But so Mossad has been paying me to make all of these videos about Israel, and they also said, "Hey, dude, you need to learn some Hebrew so you can get our instructions better." So they have been sending me some Hebrew learning material, but I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't really know if I want to do that. I have too much stuff to do. Can't spend time on that. So they have been reprimanding me on that, but I'm trying my best. Alhamdulillah. And they just sent me some money here, shekels. See, it's so funny. I've had the same bill here laying around forever since I came back from Israel. Always the same joke with the same bill. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. 5%. I got 5% right. Thank you. Good job reading. Thank you. David coming. David is not coming. David is sleeping right now. David is going to be live later on, though. Your Hebrew is amazing, AP. Don't exaggerate. Don't exaggerate. Thank you. 50%. Thanks. Yeah. AP just reads super chats in Hebrew for the rest of the stream. LOL. That would be funny. Then I would be compelled to read them, but I would just get help to read them. Alhamdulillah. Rest in peace, Herbert the cricket. Yeah, Herbert left me. I don't know what happened. Herbert left me. Herbert went away, but I still have my other dog, Blaze. Do you still have that fluffy dog? Yes, exactly. That's who I have. That's who I have. That's who I have. Hijab's new video. What did Hijab do? Did he try to explain how 2 matches actually create a bigger flame? Let's see. Challenge accept. What? What is he doing now? Wait a minute. I thought he was. What challenge is he accepting? Is he accepting a challenge from Sam Shamoun when he debated William Lane Craig and acted like nobody can defend the Trinity? I have now debated the best Christian apologists in the world. That's ridiculous. Of course, he realized that his debate with William Lane Craig was a disaster, so now he wants to accept debate challenges again. Shut up.
How are you guys doing?
I was doing better before I saw your face.
The best debate for yourself, and really the best debate in the last century of Christianity. I debated William Lane Craig, who's considered really the best debate in the last century of Christianity, and I gave him a chance to defend the Trinity. And you can watch the debate and make a decision for yourself as to the extent to which he was able to do so. But I think you'll find that, quite frankly, someone with his eminence, his academic eminence, and his standing, a 75-year-old man, but he's been in the game for like 50 years now, half a century in his own right, couldn't do it, really. He couldn't.
Man, this guy really thinks a lot of himself. Mojab, I know you're watching this. I know you'll be watching this later because you love looking at people talking about you. You're aware of everything that we have ever said about you. It's quite funny. While pretending to be this completely self-absorbed guy who never ever cares about anything that the other enemies of Islam say. But man, really, you have said the dumbest thing that anyone has ever heard in religious debates, in philosophical debates, from a self-proclaimed philosopher. I mean, it's basic logic, basic thinking that made people laugh, crack up, and die, even as the debate was going on. As soon as you said it, I thought, wait a minute, did he really just say that? And started dying laughing to myself. And you could see the chat. The chat was simultaneously laughing and dying when you said it. Afterwards, people started making parody videos in response to the stupid thing you have said. And you didn't challenge anything at all. And you are sitting here seriously thinking that you did a good job.
Father is not the creator. He is a partial creator. He is a one-third.
Understand causal overdetermination, Mr. Hijab. When two matches light a flame simultaneously or light a candle, they don't each contribute 50% to the lighting of the candle. They are each 100% sufficient for the effect, but they act concurrently with each other. And so in the act of creation, I see absolutely no problem with saying that there is a concurrence here of the action of the three persons of the Trinity to produce this creative effect.
So first off, Mohammed Hijab, apparently you heard what William Lane Craig said here, right? Who to you is a fantastic debater. And he explained it quite nicely to you. You have two matches. Both of them have fire, like little flames. If you if you lighted a candle with one match, it is the same as if you light the candle with two matches. It has no bearing on what happens to the flame. One match is as sufficient as two matches or three matches. None of this changes anything about the results at all. You bring two matches together, you get the same flame, right?
Okay, so to respond to this very clearly, your candle example with overdetermination, causal overdetermination, it's disanalogous to what we are talking about. Why? If you have two candles that come together to light a flame, you will have a bigger flame, you see. There's sufficient conditions.
This could be remembered as one of the dumbest moments in religious debate history. Seriously, people will look at this and think, is this guy retarded? Really, they will sit and think, is this guy retarded, or did he really? Is he joking? Is he trolling? Is he putting on an act? Mohammed Hijab, where exactly do you get the bigger flame? Where exactly is the bigger flame? What I find the best about this whole thing is how he says at the end, you see, he's trying to sound sophisticated here.
Why? If you have two candles that come together to light a flame, you will have a bigger flame, you see.
You see. You will have a bigger flame, you see. Mohammed Hijab, please, if you look, a lot of people took issue with this moment specifically, right? So obviously, this moment in this debate matters. So how about, since debates are for the public, how about you make a short video in which you demonstrate this, in which you demonstrate that that you will get a bigger flame? First off, you didn't even get the example right. He said 2 matches, but make a video and demonstrate to everyone how you actually get a bigger flame with 2 of them. Demonstrate it. I know exactly what you will do when you demonstrate it, and you will then demonstrate also that you didn't even understand the point, and you don't understand logic. People are laughing at you, you idiot. Anyway, let's get back to Israel. Let's go 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 to Israel. Israel. So for those who do not know, Israel has been finally hitting back, fighting back against Hezbollah. And the funny thing is, yesterday I was looking at the news to quickly have in audio the latest updates and summary of everything that has happened. And I was looking at different channels, and then one of the things that I came across was the British Sky News, and they said something like that they kind of twisted the narrative to make it look like Israel is an aggressor here. Then I switched over to BBC just because I thought, I wonder what these idiots are saying. And they were just showing dramatic videos of people in southern Lebanon getting caught in the fire, basically just making it look like poor people, they're suffering because of what Israel is doing. People are not talking about what is actually going on. Gladly, at least on Sky News, they had at some point certain commentators on who pointed out and said, this is not something that Israel wants to do. This is not a fight, not a war that Israel wants to have, because this war is weakening Israel. Israel is not gaining anything from this at all, except aside from suppressing the violence and the threats and the terrorism that it has been dealing with. Israel is losing lots of resources, lots of money. Israel is spending tons of money on every single interception of a Hezbollah missile, tons of money on all the personnel that is currently involved in deploying and overlooking southern Lebanon and the border. So tons of money into relocating the Israeli population that was living in the north, that lives in the north, to different regions. Currently, by Israeli numbers, between 60 and 100,000 people are displaced. They can't live across the northern border anymore because of constant Hezbollah fires for a year now. And they are protesting. They are losing their patience. They want to go home. They can't. War demoralizes a population more and more and more as it drags on, and so on. So this is not something that Israel wants to be engaged in. Israel has for a whole year repeatedly told Hezbollah to stop firing missiles, stop being aggressive, stop being hostile. Otherwise, we will have to take action. We will have to go in. And they're like, no, we will destroy you. And the general message from Hezbollah was that they will continue as long as Israel continues fighting in Gaza. That's their condition. And then you have people step in and say, "Well, Israel should just stop Gaza. Then then they can. Then Hezbollah will stop." Okay, fantastic. How about this? A group goes into Lebanon and starts murdering Lebanese Shia Muslims, and says to Hezbollah, "We will stop murdering Lebanese Shia Muslims as soon as you stop firing missiles at Israel." Does this then mean that Hezbollah will be forced and will be like, "Okay, fine," and we'll have to stop firing missiles at Israel? Is this how you want to do things? Where does this go? Where do we go with this logic? It's Israel Israel doesn't have the obligation to listen to this terrorist organization Hezbollah. That's it. Top-level Hezbollah terrorists are trying to flee to Christian areas of Beirut, but are denied entry by Visegrad. Let me see. Seems legit. I want to pull up a map of Israeli strikes in Lebanon and show something here. When we talk about Lebanon, people make it look like it is a war between Israel and Lebanon. It's really not. It's really not. The strikes are vastly concentrated on certain parts of Lebanon on a map. And those certain parts of Lebanon are also very much in line with where Hezbollah rules in Lebanon. Let's see. You see? So here, let's pick this up here. Here you have Lebanon area of operations in Hezbollah area of operations in Lebanon, and here is an image. Where is this? Where did it go? 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 Okay, here you have airstrikes conducted by Israel inside Lebanon. You can see here that the majority of the attacks are concentrated on the southern part of Lebanon, right? The southern part of Lebanon here, in line with Hezbollah dominance, and also some into this region here, which is also under Hezbollah dominance, and some necessarily into other regions where Hezbollah operates, including Beirut, because Hezbollah is also partly operating in Beirut and occupying significant places. But they have been very much mobilizing a lot of force down here at the southern border to Israel, and Israel is conducting airstrikes. They have conducted over 1,000 airstrikes so far since yesterday. So the attacks, the airstrikes are vastly carried out on Hezbollah-ruled regions in Lebanon. Plus, also, it vastly does not affect other religious groups within Lebanon, because you can open a demographic map of Lebanon and you will get the following results here. You will see here is where the airstrikes are going, and here is the religious demographic map of Lebanon. The purple here is Shiite. So the Shia Lebanese Muslims are in this region, and then in this region. And that is where Israel is conducting airstrikes. They're not conducting airstrikes in Druze regions, in Christian regions, not even in Sunni Muslim regions. They're vastly focused and concentrated on those regions that are under Shia dominance and also under Hezbollah dominance. So that is what is going on. Of course, this also affects other people who are living in Lebanon, including non-Shia, non-Hezbollah people. War is hell. That's what it is. However, this is basically what is going on. The whole war is focused on Hezbollah at the moment, and Hezbollah rules where Shia also rules. The Shia population is also the one that is very much in support of having a military solution to this entire conflict. I pulled up a poll before, which I should bring up here quickly. Lebanon, let's see. Let us see. Let us see. Let us see. Lebanon survey war. Where was that? Where did I go? Where did I go? Where did I go? Okay, right here. So here is a poll that is this is presented by the Washington Institute, but I think the survey was held by somebody else. Okay, this was the Washington Institute polling. So here you can see in November, December 2023, you can see this question asked across different countries. Regardless of what's right, there is no military solution to the conflict with Israel. So there will have to be political negotiations for a Palestinian-Israeli agreement someday. Then they ask respondents in these countries whether they agree with this statement or not. So whether they agree that there needs to be a political solution rather than a military solution, yes or no. What is surprising to many people probably is that the Arab countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Egypt, Jordan, they all mostly say there needs to be a political solution rather than a military solution. This is a huge shift, actually, in sentiments in the Arab world toward Israel. They don't want the war anymore. They don't want to deal with this whole Palestine thing anymore. People just don't want to have the military solution anymore. They are happy with finding a political solution with Israel. However, when you come to Lebanon, you can see here that especially one group in Lebanon is very much pro-war, and that is Lebanese Shia. So Lebanese Shia to 48% strongly disagree with the statement that there needs to be a political solution, and 27% somewhat disagree. So more than 75% of Shia Lebanese people say no political solution, we need a military solution. So they are totally for war. Only a minority of Shia think, how about let's do this politically? What's surprising is that not even the Lebanese Sunni Muslims are that radical. They are only, even so, the Sunni Muslims, even those, more than 50% agree or somewhat agree with the statement that there needs to be a political solution rather than a military solution. Of course, it is still high, 26% and 18% disagree with the statement. They still think a military solution is necessary. But even among Sunni Muslims, more than 50% think political solution is the best at this moment. And then you have the Lebanese Christians, of whom 75% believe that political solution is the right answer, whereas a minority disagrees and believes in a military solution. So most Christians believe in political diplomatic solutions. Minority believes in military solutions, and this should not be a surprise considering that Lebanon and Israel have had multiple wars in the past. Yeah, so it is this population, the Lebanese Shia, that is pushing the country to war, and their leader, Hezbollah, that wants war, that wants military solutions, and so on. This is just pretty much the picture that is in the Middle East, in Lebanon. This is who asks, where did the statistics come from? This is actually directly from here. The Washington Institute for Near East Policy, they did this survey. I got it directly from them. They have it right here. And they also have certain other questions. Like here you can see that the majority of Sunnis and Christians dislike Hezbollah, whereas the majority of Shia Muslims love Hezbollah. And Hezbollah is what is dragging Lebanon down into war, and so on. Yeah. So this is the big problem. It's the big problem. So anyway, since yesterday, Israeli military said it has struck 1,600 targets in Lebanon related to Hezbollah, the militant group backed by Iran, on Monday. Panicked by the scope and intensity of the attacks, civilians fled southern Lebanon and sought the relative safety of Beirut, clogging the main roads leading into the capital. You have probably seen the pictures. There were vehicles moving, unable to move, so many people fleeing. What Israel also did is, amazingly, they dropped leaflets. They published videos by the Israeli military and Netanyahu himself, telling people to evacuate from the vicinities of Hezbollah. They took over a radio station in Lebanon and broadcast direct warnings saying, we have no problem with you, the people of Lebanon. We are fighting Hezbollah, evacuate now, and so on. Called people, sent messages, and so on. They did multiple different attempts to tell people that airstrikes are coming on Hezbollah targets, and that all those who are in Hezbollah vicinities and who know of Hezbollah activities need to get out for their own safety. This is a regular procedure. This is procedure taken in any war, in urban warfare. This is also what, for example, the Allies did in the Second World War, where they would drop leaflets or otherwise go around with speakers if they could, and issue warnings for everyone to leave and to evacuate to safe zones. And of course, some people are angry and they're like, why are they telling them to evacuate? Where are they supposed to go? Well, sorry, it is war. It is war. Israel did not ask for this. On the contrary, Israel tried to avoid this for a whole damn year. Lebanon's health minister raised the death toll from the strikes to 558 people, with another 1,800 injured, making Monday the country's deadliest day since a civil war that ended in 1990. So they didn't give direct data on how many of these deaths are militants and how many are civilians. Hezbollah did, however, on different occasions give numbers on the death toll, on how many of their militants died so far. So let's see that Israel-Hezbollah conflict. According to some of the data in, let's see. I can't find that right now. Gotta pull it up somewhere. So, but Hezbollah confirmed that at least on the first day, the majority of those killed were Hezbollah members, so Hezbollah operatives, not civilians. And you now have people complaining about the death toll. Israel is targeting militants, not civilians, which Hezbollah can tell you as well. And of course, there will be civilian casualties. That is always part of war. This is why Israel doesn't want the war. I mean, if it was very easy, if these strikes only targeted and killed Hezbollah operatives and militants, why would Israel wait? They would just strike them all, right? It is the civilian casualties and the destruction and the effort and everything else that is why Israel doesn't want war, which is why they don't war. We have multiple different commanders by Hezbollah killed so far. We had some news on this earlier. The IDF actually just confirmed about an hour ago or so that they took out a missile chief of Hezbollah. This comes from the Times of Israel. They say that IDF confirms Hezbollah missile chief Ibrahim Qubaisi has been killed. The commander of Hezbollah's rocket and missile division was killed in an airstrike in the Lebanese capital of Beirut a short while ago. In a statement, the military says that Qubaisi was killed in an airstrike carried out by fighter jets, and so on. So other senior officers in the Hezbollah's rocket and missile division in the building were also killed. That's some good developments. The more they take out terrorists, the better. That's how you end the terrorism. That's how you get rid of the terrorism. That's what they do. Further, we have Israeli airstrike in Beirut on Monday aimed to kill Ali Karaki, a member of Hezbollah's top leadership, according to three current and former Israeli officials. People in Lebanon received text messages and automated calls warning them to move away from Hezbollah's weapon caches. So drew criticism from rights groups. See, this is the funny thing. They received text messages and automated calls warning them to move away from Hezbollah's weapon caches that drew criticism from right groups, which argued that Lebanese civilians would have no means of knowing where military targets were located. What exactly do you want Israel to do? Do you want them not to give any issues? Do you want them to just say, okay, no warnings, just bomb? They have to do something. What exactly do they want? What exactly do they want? This is so ridiculous. Every single time. They're like, they're telling me us to evacuate, but where are these people supposed to go? Well, you asked for the war. You asked for the fight. You asked for the violence. What do you expect now? What exactly do you want now? How do people think war is conducted? How do people think the Second World War was conducted? So, Visegrad, the Israeli army now confirms that the Hezbollah commander Ibrahim Kubaisi, who was in charge of the terrorist group's rockets, missiles, and drones, was killed in an airstrike in Beirut 2 hours ago. Fantastic. Fantastic. Willkommen, Mr. Bombastic. Shabal Bukhari said, when they get weak, they seek refuge in our churches, and when they get strong, they burn it down. Oof. Who's this? Who is this guy? That's a little bit of a burn here. Sheesh. Sheesh. That's a little bit of a burn right there. That's a big oof in their face. Whoa. So, I mean, this is something I would want to retweet, but it's like, it sounds so hard initially. I have to further think about this because it's like, it's a really, really dark thing that is part of war, but it's also totally true. You know, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Yesterday, I was actually spending some time looking at posts from hypocrites, and then David told me that I should make a video about this, and I was like, "Video? Who makes videos nowadays?" But before I go to that, before I look at the reactions of people crying about Hezbollah, let's first look at what Mr. Bibi Netanyahu says. He's still calling them Hezbollah, although they don't have balls anymore.
I have a message for the people of Lebanon. Israel's war is not with you. It's with Hezbollah. For too long, Hezbollah has been using you as human shields. It placed rockets in your living rooms and missiles in your garage. Those rockets and missiles are aimed directly at our cities, directly at our citizens. To defend our people against Hezbollah strikes, we must take out those weapons. Now, starting this morning, the IDF has warned you to get out of harm's way. I urge you, take this warning seriously. Don't let Hezbollah endanger your lives and the lives of your loved ones. Don't let Hezbollah endanger Lebanon. Please, get out of harm's way now. Once our operation is finished, you can come back safely to your homes. I have a message for the people of...
In response to this, I saw some people posting, "Oh, where are they supposed to go? Where are they supposed to go?" Again, I don't know how clear you can make this. They have to go somewhere. Somewhere. This is why Israel didn't want this war. We can see exactly when the current hostilities started. Just Google it, right? Just Google it. Google Israel Hezbollah conflict 2023. Here. You have a start date right here. October 8th, 2023. October 8th, 2023. On October 8th, 2023, Hezbollah started firing missiles at Israel. At that time, on October 8th, Israel wasn't carrying out a large-scale attacks on Gaza. They weren't carrying out huge airstrikes on Gaza. They weren't firing at Gaza. Gaza was not desperate. At that point, Israel was still warning Gazans to evacuate and placing calls, drawing out plans, dropping sound bombs, and so on to tell them to get out of harm's way, because war is about to kick in. That is when Hezbollah took the opportunity and started firing missiles. They haven't stopped since then. Repeatedly since then, Israel told them to stop firing missiles. They have not stopped. And now, finally, almost a year later, it is September 24th right now. In a few weeks, it will be exactly 12 months. It will be exactly a year. Now Israel is finally striking back in the heaviest way, and Israel's war goals when it comes to Hezbollah are also quite clear. They are that they want, number one, to halt any aggressions and any missiles coming from the sides of Hezbollah. Number two, they want to secure the northern border once again and give people who live there the ability to relocate to where they live. That's what they want. That's what they want. There are over 60,000 people are displaced currently in Israel. Over 60,000 people displaced. In October, 200,000 Israelis were displaced. At some point, they were estimating that up to 500,000 may be displaced. They reduced it. They slowly relocated people to those places around Gaza that they fled from, that they were relocated from. Now, currently, there are over 60,000, between 60,000 and 100,000 people who were relocated from the northern parts of Israel. Let's see. Let's see. Evacuation zone. We have the evacuation zone, which I can put here. Israel evacuation, northern Israel. The northern Israel part is evacuated. People can't live there at this moment. And Israel just wants to make sure that people can go back there. Can go back there. This is so ridiculous. Whenever I look up something by myself when I'm not live, I find it in like 2 seconds. Then when I want to look it up again when I'm live, I don't find it. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. But you can see here on this image, that these are the places where Hezbollah initially fired. Then it further expanded. Wasn't there a map of evacuation zone of Israel? I don't get it. Why can I not find such things so easily? This is so embarrassing. Do a better job. This is not very professional of you. Terrible. Anyway, we'll have a look at that once somebody sends it to me, okay? So yeah, that's what's happening. Exactly. So it wasn't 9 years of today's age. What is happening here? Who are you talking to? Islam standing. I know there are lots of people who always walk around in the comment section trying to say all kinds of weird things. Bad reporter. I know. It's terrible. Horrible quality. Very unreliable stuff. Yeah. Let's watch the footage from the IDF, and I will, in the meantime, look for a few things here.
Since October 8th, the Hezbollah terrorist organization has fired over 9,000 rockets, missiles, UAVs at Israeli families, homes, and communities. In the last week alone, Hezbollah fired over 700 rockets, missiles, UAVs, hitting homes deep inside Israel and forcing hundreds of thousands of Israelis into bomb shelters. For years, Hezbollah has been planning to do in northern Israel what Hamas did in southern Israel on October 7th. Invade Israel, infiltrate civilian communities, and massacre innocent civilians. To achieve this goal, Hezbollah drew up a plan. They called it Conquer the Galilee. On Friday, the IDF conducted a precise strike based on intelligence on Ibrahim Akil, the architect of this plan, and other senior Radwan force commanders in Beirut. At the time of the strike, these Hezbollah commanders were meeting to plan an October 7th style attack in northern Israel. To make sure that Hezbollah can't carry out such an attack, and in order to enable all 60,000 Israelis to safely return back to their homes in northern Israel, we must act against this threat. This threat is just a few hundred of meters away from the communities and families in northern Israel. Today, based on precise intelligence, we conducted extensive strikes against Hezbollah terror targets in Lebanon that posed an imminent threat. The IDF struck 1,300 targets until now, including long-range cruise missiles, heavyweight rocket with 1,000-kilo warhead. This is the same type of rocket that was used in the Majd al-Shams attack that killed 12 innocent children. We also struck a short and medium-range rockets and UAVs, all capable of attacking deep inside Israeli territory and causing major damage to civilian towns and cities. As part of our efforts to mitigate harms to civilians, we provided advance warning to civilians in specific villages in Lebanon where Hezbollah embedded its military assets and weapons and warned them to move out of harm's way. However, even as we called on civilians to move away from danger, we saw that Hezbollah operatives were doing the opposite and acted to prevent civilian moving safety. This is because Hezbollah uses civilian population and civilian homes as a human shield for its terrorist.
There are people who take issue with this, with the words "human shield." And they're like, "Oh, look, they're saying human shield again. This is just an excuse. This is just an excuse." It's a very, very simple way to describe exactly what is happening and what groups like Hamas and now Hezbollah are doing. We have direct footage, I think they're going to show that as well here in this video, of Hezbollah directly using civilian buildings, villages, towns, in order to store rockets, store missiles, store heavy weaponry, and directly to fire from there. If you do that, that doesn't mean you are attaching humans to your body and using them as shields, or you're carrying them as a shield or anything like that. It means that you are basically, by hiding among them and by fighting among them and not making yourself distinctly visible, not fighting from a war zone or a distinct military zone, you are using the population thereby as a human shield, because you are forcing the other side to eventually strike back and then kill civilians as civilian casualties. And then you cry about it. Because you like to use the deaths of your own side, which you caused, as ammunition against the other side.
Activities. Today we exposed this strategy, showing how Hezbollah uses civilian homes as a cover for their deadly weapons. In these images, you can see how Hezbollah hides long-range rockets with range of hundreds of kilometers inside the attic of a house in the heart of Khumin al-Takhta village in southern Lebanon. You can see here that the rocket is stored on an hydraulic system and is prepared for a launch out of an opening in the roof, directed at the communities in northern Israel. And more than that, under this attic, a family lives and serves as a human shield for Hezbollah. The IDF strikes today, we saw many secondary explosions, such as this. Behind every secondary explosions, there's a building containing deadly munitions, rockets and missiles, triggering such a reaction like you see here. It is likely that some of the casualties are from these secondary explosions. Here you can see a house used by Hezbollah to store its weapons. In the footage here, following our strike on the weapon, secondary explosions can be clearly seen, and a rocket fired and hit a nearby house.
Look, you see this here. This is a very, very interesting.
Secondary explosion,
So
such as this. Behind every secondary explosions, there's a building containing deadly munitions, rockets, and missiles, triggering such a reaction like you see here. It is likely that some of the casualties are from these secondary explosions. Here you can see a house used by
this here is very, very, very important footage. It's actually quite clear once you look at it for a little bit.
Hezbollah to store its weapons. In the footage
So the place is struck by Israel.
here, following our strike
Explosion
on the
happens.
weapon secondary
And then from that place, from that building itself, this is clear evidence, from that building itself, a rocket flies out. This is obviously not Israel doing it. Israel didn't go in there and fire the rocket from there. Israel didn't fire a rocket that bounces off the ground and fires into a direction on ground level. They are obviously, this is obviously fired directly from that place that is struck by Israel.
following our strike on the weapon secondary explosions can be clearly seen, and a rocket fired and hit a nearby house. Let me be clear. Hezbollah is responsible for this situation.
But of course, we're probably supposed to believe that that Israel has superpowers. So Israel has superpowers, which is how they plant invisible rockets into Hezbollah-controlled territory to then make them fire when Israel attacks, to make it look like Hezbollah is operating from those regions. Totally. It's because Jews are superhumans and they use mind control to do this kind of stuff.
This is Hezbollah's plan to turn southern Lebanon into a battlefield for its attacks on Israel. We cannot accept terrorist groups storing weapons inside people's homes, using them to fire at other civilian communities. The international community must condemn Hezbollah's grave violation of international law and actions that endanger civilians on both sides of the border. The IDF makes vast efforts not to hit civilians and make every effort to mitigate harm to civilians during operational activity. Regarding the high number of casualties, everyone is a tragedy in Lebanon. Among those killed were a large number of Hezbollah terrorists who were next to the weapons that we targeted. Israel is facing threats on all fronts and continuing to act against them in defense for the people of Israel. We have many other missions to carry out. We have to bring back home all our hostages that are held in brutal conditions by Hamas. We have to bring them back home in all means. We have to continue dismantling Hamas capabilities in Gaza.
You can see also that the whole Gaza issue has become increasingly quiet. I listened to a few analysts yesterday. It's because Israel has now ensured significant control over Gaza, significant control over Hamas-controlled territories. They still haven't gone into every single Hamas hole, but they have basically surrounded them pretty much. And the situation is, so they are entrapping Hamas. It is coming to a close, which is why Israel can now direct its attention toward Hezbollah with care, slowly. Hezbollah is no joke. Hamas was always a joke. Hezbollah is no joke. Hezbollah is a significant military that is supplied and trained and fed and legitimized by Iran and so on. Also West Bank. West Bank, Judea and Samaria also has been seeing a lot of violence increasingly. I don't know. It's a very, very rough situation. Those who actually think that Israel wants these conflicts, these wars, must believe in fantasies. Imagine you have Gaza, you have at the heart of your own country, the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, and then you have the northern Hezbollah, all fighting. You don't know. It's hard to put your attention into one place. Lots of resources are spent. Lots of people are dying. Something must be done, though. And the world doesn't want to really help. The world just wants to say, we are alarmed about the escalation whenever Israel responds. So,
And we have to bring security to every Israeli citizen in the north and in the south.
alhamdulillah. So to get to those things again, this was actually correct here. This is, I think, the initial plan, but very much fulfilled. You can see here, so these are the Golan Heights. Here you can see the Israeli evacuation zone. As far as I understand right now, they evacuated much more than just these regions. All the people living along the border were evacuated. People don't live there. However, there are people living across the border or a little bit further from those borders who are still being threatened, who are still being alerted all the time to missile fires, and they're sick of it. They are sick of it. They want intervention. They want this to stop. They want this to end. And it just continues going on. Nahariya, for example, is still a place that is populated, and we just earlier got some alerts that something is going on there. Hope everybody is safe. Some other news is that according to Axios, let me quickly see. According to Axios, very, very funnily, Hezbollah asked Iran to intervene. And the reports are currently that Iran denied the request, if you can trust the reports. That's a very, very interesting, wild new development. Hezbollah asked Iran to attack Israel. Israeli and Western officials say. Two Israeli officials said Iranian officials told their Hezbollah counterparts that the timing isn't right for launching an attack against Israel because the Iranian president Masoud Pezeshkian is currently in New York for the UN General Assembly. That's why. In a briefing with reporters on Monday in New York, Pezeshkian said Israel is the party seeking a wider war in the region and stressed that Iran doesn't want to fall into this trap. Yeah, right. It is Israel that is seeking a wider conflict. Israel is the one seeking a wider conflict, right? Because Israel is the one that is forcing the Arab-Palestinian side to carry out attacks all the time. That has been forcing the Palestinian Arab side not to agree to peace agreements and mutual recognition. It is Israel that has been forcing Hamas to work toward the extermination of Jews. It is Israel that is forcing Hamas to attack on October 7. It is Israel that is forcing Hezbollah to attack. It is Israel that is forcing Iran to attack, and so on. It's all Israel's fault. All of these Islamic terrorist ideologies, Islamic terrorist groups, they have no responsibility at all. They don't know what they're doing. They're stupid. They're imbeciles. They're stupid. They're literally like little babies, like little baby animals. They don't know what they're doing. It's just Israel is forcing them to do all of these crazy things in order to cause a wider war. That's apparently what's going on. This is so ridiculously idiotic, so absolutely stupid. A senior Israeli official said the Security Cabinet directive to Israel Defense Forces is to avoid steps that would give Iran a reason or a pretext to join the fight. The Iranian mission to the UN and a spokesperson for Hezbollah didn't respond to a request for comment. Israeli attacks have killed hundreds of people, many of them civilians, and injured thousands of others in Lebanon. Of course, they always have to add that. This is so funny. When you read reports about what Hamas did on October 7, you don't read Hamas and Palestinian militant groups have killed over 1,200 Israelis, many of them civilians, despite the fact that most of them were civilians. But whenever you read about something, about some strike in, by Israel, it's immediately, and many of them civilians. Or there's one child that died, unfortunately, very sad. And you will read, including children. It's so disgusting at this point, man. It is so disgusting at this point. On October 7, Palestinian terrorist organizations attacked and killed mostly civilians in Israel. 1,200 people, mostly civilians. But you don't hear many civilians, including women and children. Only the other side repeatedly uses this narrative. What? Giovanni Garcia said, super chats aren't working, AP. I don't see any issue. Everything seems to be working. I didn't get any warning or anything. I didn't get no warning, son. It's blocking me as if I'm saying bad words, but I'm literally saying time. You can't say time. Time is a bad word. Time is a bad word. In Greek mythology, time is a bad word. Giovanni Garcia, AP, my ninja fire. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. See, there was a super chat that you made earlier. The White Trash Panda, Alhamdulillah, rest in peace, Herbert. Rest in peace. Please invite Bob from Speaker's Corner 1, said Iksikana Daydreams. I shall. You know what? I'm a horrible person. I talked to him. I talked for so long about having a live stream together with him. And he has reminded me of it 1,000 times, and I still haven't arranged it. I need to do that. I promise I'll get back to doing that. The White Trash Panda said, Alan revealed to me that Herbert died because AP didn't feed him. Very cruel. All ham to Allah. Well, I can't feed anywhere. I can't feed everyone. Pfft, I don't care about Herbert. A gecko ate Herbert. You see, that's what they do. Marhaba, Apostate Prophet. Alhamdulillah. Marhaba. Shalom. AP, get EA to join. Who's EA? Who's EA? You mean Electronic Arts? Oh, you mean Egyptian Atheist. I see. I don't think he's available right now. Not sure if he is. I should do something else with him again sometime. He has very strong opinions as an Egyptian dude about the conflict. He spent much of his time in the Palestinian territories. He has, who knows lots of people in the Palestinian territories. And he really doesn't like the Palestinian territories. He totally supports Israel in this. And I sometimes want to just have him speak and explain things here. First time on your stream live. Hello from Israel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. Amit Sabak said, I hope you enjoyed watching Lebanon Independence Day, your Mossad operator. Alhamdulillah, that was pretty good. Leo said, hey AP, sorry off topic, I would really like to know the name of the song in Arabic that you played at the end of your last stream. Candice and Jen confront Jonathan. Thank you. Shalom from Israel. You mean this song that I AI created by myself? I'm pretty sure I played an AI song at the end, didn't I? I played I did some AI music with the Quran. I think that's what I played. The funny thing is I was playing around earlier with some AI stuff, and then I started doing some Crusader music. And then I ended up also thinking about Israel right now. I ended up doing some AI Israeli music to take back the Holy Land, which I found very funny. The results were quite funny. It's all AI generated, but I want to play it and ask Hebrew speakers if it makes sense and if it's good. I'm not advocating for anything here. I'm just making fantasy songs, okay? through AI.
עולמי ציון מלך בעוז ובגאון, נשוב לדם אבות לעבר הקודש האור, בכוח האמונה ביד אשר ניצב, שוב נבנה חומות לתפארת ולעד. ישראל בית עמנו, ישראל ארץ השמר, ישראל ארץ אבותינו, ישראל נקום ונתעלה. נשמע את כל התקווה.
So how is it? Is it good? Does the Hebrew work? Is it actually cool? Yeah. So that was in Hebrew for the Hebrew speakers. I'm just messing with things. Earlier, I made a Latin Crusader song. You see, I'm doing more stuff here. You see, somebody's like, "You're calling things simping for Israel." How about this, man? How about this? I'm gonna play you some. I'm gonna play you some Crusader song here. How about that? How about that? Which one was that here? No, wait, this one. This isn't Latin.
Ad caelum tollimus vexia gloriosa, fide armatisumus in nomine Iesu, in hostem pergimus lux nostra dux est cor unum mens una Iesu victoriam. Jesus Nazarenus Rex, Iudaeorum, Jesus Nazarenus Rex mundi. Jesus Nazarenus Rex, Iudaeorum, Jesus Nazarenus Rex mecum.
So this is the new song for the new Crusades. The Crusaders will soon gather and they will sing this song. They will march with this. So Alhamdulillah, soon this will happen. I know, strange Latin accent. I'm not sure if the system can actually do proper Latin, but I tried my best. So I'm just messing with things here. Anyway, let's get back to the conflict. There are serious things here, man. Stop with the fantasy music. So unprofessional. More than 1 million people in Israel from the Haifa area to the border with Lebanon have experienced the most wide-ranging rocket and drone attacks Hezbollah has launched against Israel. Most have been intercepted, but several people injured. Hezbollah suffered massive losses, with many of its top military commanders killed and its communication systems compromised. So this is what is currently going on. I want to get into some of the hypocrisy here. I want to look at some high-level political analysts. Of course, I have a million different windows open here. Want to look at some high-level, respectable political analysts like Mia Khalifa here. So Mia Khalifa said, "My heart is breaking for Lebanon and for humanity." This is very funny, isn't it? And this has 40,000 likes. 40,000 likes. 40,000 likes. It's so weird because as soon as I saw this, I just thought the very same thing that everyone else thought. And I posted it and said STFU. For those who don't know what that means, it means save the feline utility. And I posted this screenshot of her where she, on October 7, posted the following. This is a Renaissance painting with terrorists riding through Israel shooting at police. Police, by the way, is not military. Police is civilian. Shooting at police, riding through the city on October 7. She loved this. She loved it. She celebrated. She loved it. Absolutely loved it. Others posted the obvious, like considering that I'm on a Mia Khalifa thing, I don't want to stroll through too far down here. But Uh, others posted things like her post during October 7, which said things like, tell the freedom fighters to turn their phones horizontally when filming. And she was actually talking about terrorists. Here, right here, right here. She was talking about terrorists going around and killing Israelis, mostly civilians. She said, can someone please tell the freedom fighters in Palestine to flip their phones and film horizontal? This was her attitude on October 7. And now she's saying, oh, my heart hurts. My heart is breaking. But anyway, I just started with Mia Khalifa because she's the foremost political commentator and an expert on geopolitics and warfare. There are also other hypocrites. You can see them everywhere now. Just look around on the people's reactions. You have significant people. You have people from the Arab world going around and saying, "Oh, this is very, very sad. Why would Israel be doing this? Why would Israel be doing this, man? Why would they do that? Why would they do that?" Here you have a profile from Lebanon, ironically, saying Israel has killed almost 500 in one day across South Lebanon, staggering barbarity. The same person, you go back on October 8th, posted this: you must know, occupier, who we are and who you are. We are far from humiliation, and you are the address of humiliation. They were totally cool with it. They were gassed up. They were cheering. They were amazed, and they were so in love with what Hamas and the Palestinian terrorists were doing on October 7th. They're not so happy anymore. Not so happy anymore. And this should be sad. They should be reflecting and thinking, okay, maybe we shouldn't celebrate killings and all that. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this. It's kind of messed up, but they do it anyway. Because they are imbeciles and they are savages. That's who they are. Here you have this person saying the death toll in Lebanon has passed 500 people. The death toll in Lebanon has passed 500 people 3 times to make it as dramatic as possible. Same person said, I can't wait for this to be a site of liberation. Ya Rab. October 7. Was totally celebrating the murder, the massacre of all of these people. This person said the Gaza prison break on October 7. And yesterday tweeted, Israel has killed some 500 Lebanese today in one day. Let it sink in. But the same person also tweeted, I've never seen such multitudes of Israelis flee their homes and town in utter fear and run for their life. Extraordinary. This guy was really enjoying it, was loving it, absolutely loving it. When, by his description, Israelis were running for their lives in fear. He was loving it. He loved it. He celebrated it. He loved it so much. But now, when mostly terrorists are killed by Israel, it's like, this is barbarity. Barbarity. How could they do this? How could they do this? Why is the world allowing this? Why is the world not doing anything about this? Absolute hypocrites. Absolute hypocrites. There are so many of them. I went through these people yesterday. Oh, they're celebrating on October 7th, and today calling it a terrorist attack with the help of the West, and so on. The West is not even really helping. The West is not even really doing anything. The West should be helping, but is not. All the West is doing right now is America has intensified some deployment for security, most likely for safety of American locations and American assets in the Middle East. But America has repeatedly told Israel not to escalate the current situation. So the greatest ally, right? The greatest ally, America, my nation, which I'm happy of and proud of, says to Israel, while they are getting fired at with rockets for a whole year, says to Israel, don't escalate the situation. Don't escalate. Don't escalate. Don't escalate, man. Don't escalate. Just keep it low. Keep it low. Just let them do whatever. Israel said, no, sorry, we can't do this anymore. So just went in, started bombing, and possibly might even end up doing a ground invasion, which nobody wants. The first side that does not want to do a ground invasion is Israel. But they might need to end up doing it. Hezbollah is not backing down. They want to continue. They still speak of punishing Israel, waging a war of reckoning, a punitive war against Israel. These people are deluded. It's a death cult. If this was a Western country, they would be they would be fighting together right now with all the others against these terrorists. It is Israel, and I understand. You don't have an obligation to help. You don't have an obligation to directly participate, and I don't think that it would be a great idea to actually directly be involved in the war. But at least show some support, man. At least show some support. What Israel is doing here in the right now with this war against the Palestinian terrorists, the Hamas, and the other terrorists with Hezbollah. What Israel is doing here right now is what the Western countries should have been doing for a long time. It's because Western nations, Europeans, they don't have balls. They lack balls. They are less ballless than Hezbollah. Okay, they lack balls. They lack testicles. They lack the courage. They lack reason, which is why they like to bend over and get invaded and forcibly changed and be like, okay, are you offended by our religious beliefs? How about we change them? How about we change our religious holidays? How about we don't put a cross up there anymore because Muslims are offended by that? How about we don't talk about religion at all anymore because these other people may be offended? This is what Europeans do, and then they complain like, "Well, why is the situation getting out of hand? Why are we losing control?" And then you have Western, you have nationalists, patriots, right wingers. Like, you have many of them, the conspiracy theorists, come out and be like, "Oh, well, how did it get to this? Is it because we did something wrong? No. It must be because of the Jews." The Jews are the only ones right now responding to an existential threats the way you should be responding to them. In fact, they are still having some restraint because they are forced to. Okay. Otherwise, they would have gone in and destroyed Hamas a long time ago. Would have gone in and destroyed the other terrorists a long time ago. They would have destroyed other organizations that threatened them across borders a long time ago. They would have handled this situation and taken care of populations that simply do not want to coexist with you. You have large populations that believe in eradicating Israel, eradicating the Jews, and this is only step one. The same people also believe in fighting and subjugating the Western world, also fighting and subjugating the Christians. This is a phrase in the Middle East, man. This is a phrase in the Middle East. Have you heard of the phrase, first the Saturday people, then the Sunday people? Or after Saturday comes Sunday? This is a phrase in the Middle East. A phrase in the Middle East by Muslims, attributed to Muslims, used by Muslims, and so on. The phrase is, after Saturday comes Sunday. Another version is, first the Saturday people, then the Sunday people. What this means is, first we take care of the Jews, then we'll come for the Christians. First the Jews, then the Christians. That's the idea. Because on Saturday, the Jews are out. On Sunday, the Christians are out. First, we will take care of the Jews. Then we will take care of the Christians. The most vile are the Jews in their eyes. And then the Christians. Yeah, the Christians, they're currently keeping it low in the Middle East. They're not going all out. They're not being quite as defensive as the Jews, which is why you can wait with them, right? But after Saturday comes Sunday. First the Saturday people, then the Sunday people. This is a known thing. You even have a Wikipedia article on this. I'm serious. It's not something that I'm making up. It's not something. Some people I know, many of you know this already, especially if you are from the Middle East, if you are from Israel, for example. But other people might not know this and might be surprised by it, especially if you're in the West and you are Christian, or I don't know, if you're in the West and you are Jewish and you don't know much about the culture. This is known. There is even a Wikipedia article about this. After Saturday comes Sunday. After Saturday comes Sunday. When Saturday is gone, one will find Sunday. Or they say first the Saturday people, then the Sunday people. This is this is the idea. This is the idea. First they take care of the Saturday people, the Jews, then they take care of the Sunday people, the Christians. People should be realizing what in the world we are dealing with here when we talk about this culture. It is only the Jews who are not blind to the threats. Actually, I want to take that back. I would say many Jews are aware of it. Many Jews are not blind to it. Many Jews recognize it and acknowledge it. Still, lots of Jews, even in Israel, are a little bit naive. As said, when I went to Israel and I walked around and I talked to people about the impact of Islam, I heard so many Israeli Jewish people say to me, "Well, Islam is actually Islam is not the problem. Islam is a good religion." I can't stress how messed up that feels to me, because I grew up in a Muslim household, in Muslim culture, where I'm told my entire life that Jews are the worst people, Jews are monsters, Jews are evil, Jews are this, Jews are that. We will fight the Jews, we will kill the Jews, the ultimate enemy. I walk around the Muslim world, all I hear all the time is demonizing Jews. Then I go among Jews and I ask, and I talk to Jews, and the Jews tell me, "Oh, Islam is actually cool. Islam is actually not the problem. It's just certain interpretations." Are you freaking kidding me, man? It's so insane to me still. It is absolutely insane. It is insane to me. Bruh said, "Did you see Mojab challenging Musab to debate on X? Reminded me of Mojab's conditions, non-negotiable, private. Sent me your best fighter outbursts." I know. I also messaged with Musab after I saw that. And he told me, "Don't worry, I will handle it." I'm not sure what happened to that yet. Did they further get to did they further discuss details? Is it going on? Is it continuing? Are they still negotiating? Are they messaging? I don't know. Let me see. Anything about Mohammed Hijab and Musab Hassan Youssef should be happening. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? What is this? He said Mohammed Hijab is giant physically but midget mentally. Millions of people will be watching. If you are confident in your truth, you shouldn't be concerned about who is moderating the. I'm sorry, Mossab. I'm just. I always have to think of how he speaks, because I find it amazing. I have to do the voice. Okay, I won't do it. The door is still open, and many people are eager to see it. "I'm waiting for the location at 10 a.m. You have till midnight UK time. You're finished, boy." Location, Piers Morgan show. Let's have a legitimate debate without moderation. Is a chicken fight. Sleep on it and let me know in the morning. Good night. I don't want to go on to Piers. That's funny. I would be surprised if this debate ever took place, because Mohammed Hijab would make himself look ridiculous in such a debate with Musab Hassan Youssef. And I know exactly what he would do. He would try to play into the whole Middle Eastern Muslim mindset and start personally attacking Musab and his honor and accusing him of being a traitor. He would say, "You're a traitor. You betray your own people. You even betray your own father." Sometimes being a traitor is not a bad thing, right? Sometimes being a traitor is not a bad thing. If you are raised as part of a very sick, very messed up ideology and culture and terrorist organization, betraying them might be just the right thing that the world needs. And this guy is is an example for exactly that. He betrayed Hamas, betrayed his parents who were Hamas, betrayed his community that was Hamas, betrayed the Islamist mindset, and he did so rightly. And I'm very glad, and people out there should be glad as well. According to Israeli security agencies, this guy, Mossab Hassan Youssef, by leaving the jihadi terrorist mindset behind and joining Israeli security forces, he saved so many lives in Israel and in the Palestinian territories. And people will never, ever even know that they owe their lives to this guy. So yeah, sometimes being a traitor is a good thing. How about that? That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. Always spot on, AP, said Sharon. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. He responded to being a trader. Trader. Did you see Amit Yanukama gifted memberships? Thank you so much, Amit. Appreciate it. Telegraph airstrikes aimed at facilities containing missile launchers and ammunitions, many of which are hidden in civilian houses. There really is nothing that Israel can actually do in to avoid these deaths. There really is nothing that you can do. The funny thing about this is, and when I say funny, I don't mean funny, haha. I mean it's actually really messed up and sad. What was it earlier? One of these news articles said that rights groups complained about the evacuation warnings, saying that it is hard to know where Hezbollah ammunition is located. Well, that's exactly the point. Lots of civilians in Hezbollah-controlled territories might not know where Hezbollah is deploying ammunitions. That's exactly the problem here. It's because Hezbollah is operating from within civilian buildings and civilian infrastructure, from where they are carrying out attacks. If, as a result of responding to them then and conducting airstrikes, civilians also die, then this is not Israel's fault. It is Hezbollah's fault. That's exactly how it works. New name for Hezbollah, Nix Bollocks. That's good. Hender, what a mistake to replace Elon Levy with Hagari. Oh, they're different. Elon Levy he was just a spokesperson for the government, right? For the prime minister. Hagari is the spokesperson for the IDF, so they have different roles. That's that. But who took Elon Levy's place? Who took his place? Who is the current speaker of the prime ministers? I don't even know. I don't know. Now Elon is just doing his own thing. Eric the Red made a super sticker. Thank you so much. Eric Alpkanay said, hello, Sheikh Mufti your booty. Hello to you too. Assalamu alaikum. Nuwan Walters, always fantastic work, AP. Thanks spreading this information. Thank you. I appreciate it, Nuwan. Appreciate it very much. And thank you for the support and generous contribution. They did not replace him with Hagari. Yeah, that's what I mean. They did not replace him with Hagari. Hagari has always been the speaker in charge of those IDF announcements. Or Dro said, yo, AP, Cyberpunk Dingo, Aussie ex-Muslim YouTuber, very smart guy. A collab would be based. Great stream as always. Cyberpunk Dingo. Cyberpunk Dingo. That's a cool name. Cyberpunk Dingo. Never heard of Cyberpunk Dingo. Oh, I just recently looked up this profile.
This?
I will check it out. We'll check it out. Thank you. Libel said, could it be that US NATO is not ready for a full war against Iran? That's why they sanction Israel but send troops just in case. I honestly, look, America is still on the good side of things. Despite having a pathetic government right now, the Biden administration is absolutely weak and horrible. But they are still not on the wrong side of things. But I would say that the whole deployment right now is not necessarily to protect Israel or to jump in if something happens. It's rather to protect Israel, to protect American interests. Maybe also to help out Israel. I don't know. Israel never asked for it, so this is just something that the U.S. Did. However, I don't know. I think much of the Western world is just really ballless right now. Really, very, very ballless. The Biden administration is a horrible administration. Kamala Harris will be a horrible one again in terms of geopolitics, which is one of the main primary reasons that overshadows everything, which is why I just want to outright say I want to vote for Donald Trump and think everybody else should also do. The thing is, I'm not a Trump fan, but given the circumstances right now, it's difficult. Joel Evers, Apostate Puppy, I know your X inbox is stacked, but I've sent a meme that you might like. It's about you and ChatGPT where you do soul face. Oh, I'll check it out, inshallah. White Trash Panda said, donate us money. My dog needs your money. I need to listen to that again. PC, if this was about a state, it would have been settled decades ago. It's about removing Israel, not a state of Palestine. Exactly. That's what it is. If anyone tells you that that this is just about statehood and recognition and and all that, and it would still be solved if just Israel gave them a state and recognized them and all of that, which is something that Israel tried repeatedly, they don't know what they're talking about, or they're lying. It is the aim of Hamas explicitly to remove Israel entirely and to take all of the land. It is also their goal, which they made quite explicit repeatedly, that they want to eradicate the Jews. Yes, not the Zionists, the Jews. By which, of course, they just mean Zionists, right? I played this video quite a bit in the past, but I feel like I should be playing it for every single time that for people to see, in case those who didn't see it before could learn it as well. This is, what's his stupid name? Fatih Hamad, Hamas speaker in Gaza, who vastly speaks in, who usually only speaks in Arabic and speaks to the people themselves in Arabic. He does not make international, global English language declarations. He speaks to the people in Gaza themselves. This is past all the bullshit that you hear from English announcements here. This guy clearly says it. Please read the captions.
وفي هذه التجليات بفضل الله سبحانه وتعالى لنتطلع إلى أمرين مهمين نحن قاب قوسين أو أدنى منهما. أولا هو تنظيف فلسطين من دنس اليهود واستئصالهم بإذن الله، وهو قاب قوسين أو أدنى. 4 سنوات يا اخواننا، 2022 بنكون خلصنا منهم. اما الامر الثاني وهو اقامه
So the first aim that he promises, the first thing, of course this was in 2018 and he said in 4 years by 2022. So the first thing that he promises is to cleanse Palestine of the filth of the Jews. And just to hear this again, he clearly does not say Israelis. He clearly does not say Zionists. He clearly says what?
أولا هو تنظيف فلسطين من دنس اليهود واستئصالهم بإذن الله.
Yehudi. Jews. That's that. Jews. He doesn't say Zionists or Israelis. He says Jews. This is how they always speak to the Arab population in Gaza. But of course, they're a little bit late for this. It's 2024. They're currently being pounded and killed. Maybe this guy's not even alive anymore. I don't know. But he was in charge of Gaza, Hamas state TV. They talk like this to their own people all the time. Soon we will kill the Jews. We will eradicate the Yehud. The filthy Yehud. We will kill them soon. They had a plan for 2022, but then of course COVID happened, which slowed down all the businesses and industries. This is why they may have been a little bit delayed. But then 2023 came and they carried out their attack, and they wanted to eradicate the Jews. This is what they do. Now let's get to the second goal here.
أما الأمر الثاني وهو إقامة الخلافة بعد أن تتعافى الأمة من سرطانها وهو اليهود بإذن الله سبحانه وتعالى.
So once again he says Jews, Yehud, the cancer of the Jews. Once we have healed the land of the cancer of the Jews, we will build the caliphate. Speak of delusional.
أما الأمر الثاني وهو إقامة الخلافة بعد
Khilafa, the caliphate.
أن تتعافى الأمة من سرطانها وهو اليهود بإذن الله سبحانه وتعالى.
With the permission of Allah, once we have cleared the cancer of the Jews, we will establish the caliphate. That's what he's saying. This is a completely retarded culture where this guy actually goes on here and promises to people that soon in just 4 years, we will kill all the Jews, and then we will also establish the Khilafah. Maybe he was talking about Mia Khalifa. He got confused. I don't know. But this is what he was promising them. This is Hamas all the time.
لا يعني أننا سائرون في مسيرة العودة السلمية، أننا تخلينا عن المسيرة العسكرية الجهادية، فيدنا على الزناد.
And he's even saying, and this is taking place during the during the so-called peaceful March for Return. You even have him say it here. It's almost like when in these terrible movies, terrible stories, the villains just speak out all of their evil plans plainly, like, and once I am done with you, I will do this and that to you, and then this and this and that, but nobody will ever know. It's almost like that, but this guy is openly saying all of the horrible things. The issue is, he's not saying it because he's accidentally blurting it out. He's saying it comfortably like this because he's speaking in Arabic to his Arabic-speaking population in Gaza, because they have the comfort of just getting away with that, while the rest of the world just looks past it and just listens to them one more time in English, and they say, we want to fight for the freedom of the Palestinian people. And like, oh, you see, it's all just about freedom. It's all just about freedom and human rights. This is what they are. This is what Hamas is. They want the eradication of Jews and the destruction of Israel. And that is not the end. Then they also want to build a caliphate. A caliphate. Caliphate. A caliphate would be something that is not just a nation state that is limited to the Palestinian territories. It is something that is international and aspires to be global. The caliphate inherently aims to spread the religion of Islam to the world by preaching and by force. This is what the caliphate is by definition. It was so in history every single time, and it was defined as such pretty much in the Islamic sources by Muhammad's own speeches on what he is here for and what he wants to do. It was defined so by Islamic historians and so on. In fact, Muqaddimah, there is a quote on the caliphate. Let's see. El Caliphate. El Caliphate. Let's see. What does he say in El Caliphate? La 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 la. la, 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 la. I should have this quote ready every single time. Spread, 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 spread. Spread, 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 spread. So anyway, in Muqaddimah, in his famous work Muqaddimah, Ibn Khaldun, who is a very famous scholar in Islamic history, he says that that the caliphate, the caliph in Islam, and this is what makes Islam different from all other religions. The caliph is in charge of both the society and of the military, and Islam has inherently the obligation to spread the religion, by will or by force. That's what he says, by will or by force. This is what Ibn Khaldun says in Muqaddimah. Maybe I can put in the source later into the description. I also made videos about this. Made videos defining what Sharia is, what jihad is, and so on. So this is what Islamic scholars and historians have always believed and had always said. That would be actually a funny thing to make a whole stream about again. Islam believes in castrating the world. Oh yeah, and this guy is saying that during the peaceful march for return, he's saying it during the peaceful march for return, that you shouldn't be fooled by this, because we will continue fighting and destroying the Jews. But you will find lots of people nowadays complaining about Israel's reactions to the peaceful march of return.
في مسيرة العودة السلمية أننا تخلينا عن المسيرة العسكرية الجهادية، فيدنا على الزناد، ومصانعنا تشتغل وتعمل في الليل والنهار، وفي كل يوم نقدم جديد من كل ما أوتينا من قوة، من أعصابنا، من عظامنا، من لحمنا. في كل يوم نصنع المزيد من القوة العسكرية، والدليل على هذا الأمر أن عدونا لا زال يرهب حرب مع كتائب عز الدين القسام ومع إخوانهم من الفصائل الأخرى.
You see, it is unacceptable that the Jews have control of some of the Arab states. The Jews are controlling everything, and so on. This is what this guy preached. This is what this guy preached. This is what they are. This is who they are.
لم تقوم الساعة حتى يقاتل.
This is a very, very fantastic video here, full of love and praise for Jews.
لم تقوم الساعة حتى يقاتل المسلمون اليهود،
فيقتلهم المسلمون، فيجري اليهودي، فيختبئ وراء الشجر والحجر.
This guy is the best. He's like, and we will kill the Jews. Yeah. Kill the Jews. And they will hide behind stones and trees. Yeah. So peaceful.
وراء الشجر والحجر، حتى يقول الشجر والحجر
يا مسلم يا عبد الله هذا
والحجر.
What happened?
حتى يقول الشجر والحجر
يا مسلم يا عبد الله هذا يهودي ورائي فتعال فاقتل.
إلا الغرقد فإنه من شجر اليهود.
اليهود الآن يزرعون هذا الشجر الآن بكثرة في فلسطين لأنهم يوقنون بذلك.
شجر
الغرقد.
ولو دخل أي واحد منكم ونظر إلى هذه المغتصبات إن تيسر له ذلك عبر جوجل إيرث أو غير ذلك من البرامج، لاستطاع أن يرى هذه الشجرة ظاهرة تحيط بكل مكان عندهم.
This is the most ridiculous thing. These are serious Islamic scholars telling people that you can go on Google Earth and you will see that Israelis are planting these gargot trees everywhere in Israel because they know very well that in the future the Muslims will come and they will kill them, and they know this. They know that they're on the evil side. This is why they're planting these gargot trees. And you walk around in Israel and ask people about gargot trees, and they're like, "What? What trees? What are you talking about? What in the hell are you talking about?" Here is, by the way, the source. So this is from the Muqaddimah, which is the famous work of Ibn Khaldun, who is a widely regarded forerunner of sociology and Islamic history. He lived in the 14th century. He says that he speaks about the caliphate here and says then it should be known that after the removal of its prophet, a religious group must have someone to take care of it. Such a person must cause the people to act according to the religious laws. In a way, he stands to them in the place of their prophet, inasmuch as he enjoins the obligation which the prophet had imposed upon them. Furthermore, in accordance with the aforementioned need for political leadership in social organization, the human species must have a person who will cause them to act in accordance with what is good for them and who will prevent them by force from doing things harmful to them. Such a person is the one who is called ruler. In the Muslim community, the holy war is a religious duty. Because of the universalism of the Muslim mission and the obligation to convert everybody to Islam, either by persuasion or by force. This is Islam, according to the Islamic historian Ibn Khaldun. Therefore, caliphate and royal authority are united in Islam, so that the person in charge can devote the available strength to both of them at the same time. This is Islam. It even says the other religious groups did not have a universal mission, and the holy war was not a religious duty to them, save only for purposes of defense. It has thus come about that the person in charge of religious affairs in other religious groups is not concerned with power politics at all. So this guy even points out that this is exclusively Islamic. Only Islam has this whole idea of being universal and imposing the religion on everybody else, and so on. And he further speaks about that it's an obligation to overpower the nations of the world, and so on. So this is Islam, according to Islamic scholars themselves. This is the beauty and power of Islam. John the Pressbiter said, Israel escalated tensions in the region when they started planting those tight-lipped Karget trees. Hey, this is cool. You made the super chat like an hour ago before I even mentioned the Karget trees. That's pretty beast. Nico Ash says nothing but makes a super chat. Let me quickly see if there are any new updates on the front. Let's see. What is happening here? Recent updates, latest updates. Anything happening? Black Angel, anything happening? Let me know. I don't see any current updates at this moment. Latest. Let's see. Bringing hostages back should be the priority, says United Nations General Assembly. Says Israeli president. Okay. Israeli official says cabinet has agreed to continue to raise the level of military operations every day. And Israeli military does not rule out possibility of ground invasion. Okay. Let's see. Told people in Lebanon to evacuate. Latest news. New round of strikes against Hezbollah underway in Bekaa and southern Lebanon. Israeli military says. Okay. Israel prefers diplomatic solution with Hezbollah, country's UNA ambassador says. Always has. Let's see. Okay. Everything all right so far. Why are we talking about Turkey again? Oh my God. Can Erdogan just shut the hell up? Let me see. What is with Erdogan? Why is Erdogan on the news again? All this guy does is talk. All he does is talk. The Middle East doesn't even like him because all he does is talk. The Arab world doesn't even like him because all he does is talk. Shut up, man. Just shut up. You giant donkey. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan compared Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler on Tuesday. Urging that he be stopped. Just as Hitler was stopped by the Alliance of Humanity 70 years ago, Netanyahu and his murder network must also be stopped by the Alliance of Humanity. What are you talking about, you absolute sick, disgusting, horrible piece of human filth? You are the evil in the world, Erdogan. You are the evil in the world. You are the evil. You are the equivalent of Hitler that should be stopped. Erdogan is bombing for years now Kurdish villages and populations, both inside Turkey and inside Syria, and extended them to certain extents to Iraq and so on. Has been bombing them forever. And is here talking about Israel. Israel evil, Israel bad, Netanyahu bad. If anyone were to come together to stop the current Hitler in the world, they would have to come together and maybe finish two people. One of them is Putin, the other is Erdogan himself. Erdogan is the guy that people have been comparing, by the way, in Turkey to Hitler so much. It's kind of funny to me that this guy comes here and he talks about Netanyahu being Hitler. You can see so many images. One of my favorites that I remember from my time in Turkey is this one here. Is this one here, which hits the whole uncanny valley thing of, wait a minute, which one is the right one? Which one is the wrong one? This is a comparison of Hitler and Erdogan. In case you can't tell, this one is the real Hitler, this one is Erdogan. Just kidding. This one is the real Hitler, this one is Erdogan. But it's kind of funny how you can compare them. Wait, actually, this one is not even the real. No, this one is not the real Hitler. This one is closer to the real Hitler, manipulated a little bit to look like Erdogan. And this one is Erdogan. The real Hitler would be of that photo. Will the real Hitler please stand up? I think this is the photo here. Yeah, you see, they look the same. Same thing. Look, same. Erdogan, Hitler. Anyway, he's the guy that has been compared to Hitler for so often. Kebab Hitler. Yeah, that's what it is. Do Turks love Hitler as much as Arabs do? No, Hitler is more popular in the Arab world. In Turkey, he's generally not seen as a bad guy, though. So, yeah, that's that. That's true. That's true. Turkish president criticized the UN for failing to fulfill its original mission and instead becoming a dysfunctional structure. Yes, I think that the UN is also a dysfunctional structure and also a failure, especially for the very sole reason that they have people like Erdogan and atrocious dictators and totalitarian nations speaking and being having just as much a say as Israel and America, for example, do. I think the United Nations should be abolished, or at least reconstructed with better aims, where you actually have scores. And those who don't score high on democracy and freedom shouldn't be partaking in a democratic global union. Isn't it a stupid idea? The United Nations is one that comes together to protect human rights in line with a democratic process and so on. And then you have the worst nations in the world that are so anti-freedom and anti-human rights, that have no respect for democracy at all, participating and having a say in the United Nations. Well, It's like saying, "Oh yeah, let's create a democracy. Let's create a democracy. Yeah, let's have a democracy, and let's invite all of these fascists to the table to engage in the democratic process with us, and then listen to their opinions and go with them." Erdogan said more than 41,000 Palestinians have been killed since October 7th invasion of Israel last year. That is, yes, according to Hamas, and nearly half of those would be Hamas terrorists as well. I call out United Nations security. Shut up. Just shut up. Okay, nobody cares about you. All you do is talk. Look at this. Imbecile. Turkey just needs to shut up and only talk when it gets slaughtered for food. Nico Ash made a super chat. Thank you so much. Israel's way to deal with this war are astonishing. Israel is admirable, honestly. Israel is doing a fantastic job. Israel is admirable in the way it engages with, despite being alone against half the world here. Noam MKW said you should totally invent Crusader metal. Somebody probably did that already, but I should do that too. Babette Thompson made a super sticker, which I cannot see here, but I'm sure it's a very, very good one. I'm just going to take a few questions here, and then I'm going to leave. The White Trash Panda said, upload those songs, please. I shall. The Max, I thought shortly you meant the Crusaders, the 70s jazz dance band. Oops. Yep, I don't do that. I only do real Crusader stuff. Because one day I'm going to join the Crusaders and go and conquer the whole Middle East or something like that in a dream. Hu Jintao, AP, don't hate Mia Khalifa. Flip around and film horizontal. That's all she heard for years by Bang. Humanoid says, hey, AP, here's my first super jizya for you. Thanks for standing for us. Thank you, Humanoid. Toda Rabba. This says, Alhamdulillah. That says Alhamdulillah. I read it. Right? It says Alhamdulillah, doesn't it? Alhamdulillah. That's what it says. You see, I can read Hebrew. Hu Jintao AP. I actually practice with two things here. One of them is these cards. These cards here, I practice with them. These cards here. The other thing that I practice with is I got the Psalms in Hebrew and English. That's what I practice with. Alhamdulillah. Hu Jintao, AP, you and all of us hate Jeng's propaganda. We can't hit him, but let's enjoy this 60 seconds now of him and Shapiro run from 255. YouTube link in live chat. I missed it, man. Where, who, whence, how, what? Cenk Uygur, Ben Shapiro? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Who? What are you talking about? I don't know where, which video. NES Ivan said Psalm 137 is how Babylon was so sick that even when the punishment from God came and their children died, they were still proud of killing the Jews. Isn't it so ironic, right? It's so sick to even think about and to even imagine. It's something that you read in scripture, and then you have populations today that walk around that are the ultimate enemy to Jews, wanting nothing but to wipe out Jews, and despite having generations die for nothing, they still go on and still proudly think, one day we will succeed. One day we will succeed. We will do it. We will do it. That's what we will do. It is a child sacrifice cult. It's like the whole Palestine thing is a child sacrifice cult. It doesn't even matter for what they sacrifice their children. It's just that they sacrifice, and that's it. They just want to have their children killed, and they're proud of it. They get their children killed for nothing, and then they say, we're proud of that. That's what they do. Psalm 137, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat and also wept when we remembered Zion. On the willows within it we hung our lyres, for there our captors requested words of song from us. Jerusalem, forget you, O violated daughter of Babylon. Praiseworthy is he who repays you in accordance with the manner that you treated us. Destroy its very foundation. This is an interesting one. I'm going to read that later. Nutrition with Maya. What's up, Nutrition with Maya? Is this a YouTube channel? Is this a nutrition YouTube channel? Are you going to give me nutrition advice? Okay, Nutrition with Maya is going to give me nutrition advice. Okay, I'm going to follow now. AP, listen to Beck Lover on Danny Jones, Bad Dawa. He tries to defend Muhammad and Aisha marriage. Who? Beck Lover, Danny Jones? Whomst? Beck Lover, Danny Jones. Whomst? Gotta check that out. I made a note. Christianity versus Islam, end times prophecies, and so on. I've checked it out. Thank you. Thank you for that. Nutrition with Maya. Giovanni Garcia says human shields, human swords. I'm observing many more hijab niqab wearing women, and it didn't used to be that way years ago. How should I feel when I see that, and what can be done? Are you in Canada? Honestly, I don't know what to say to people when they ask me about this kind of stuff. The West did to themselves whatever they wanted to do to themselves. I don't know what to say about this. They did to themselves whatever they did to themselves. Hunting shark problem is in Israel. The Muslim population has become integrated, and if Israel speaks against Islam, it will invite war from its neighbors. Yeah, I know this is one of those problems. I realized how big of an issue this was when I went to Israel myself and started speaking to people there, and then walked through Jerusalem and parts of Tel Aviv and saw how, Muslims just walk around like in a regular place. I mean, it looked like it could be a more advanced Turkey. Turkey usually looks like crap. Like Jerusalem, the modern city, look much better. But I walk around and I see young girls with hijabs and others without, walking together with visibly Jewish people hanging out together. And I speak to certain integrated Arab people, including Muslims there, speak to Jews there, and it suddenly makes sense. And I look at the stats and the opinions of Israeli Muslims, and it suddenly makes sense. There, the Muslim population is very much significantly more integrated and at peace in comparison to the others on the other side of the border. And it seems to be Israel's doing. Israel seems to be able to somehow handle the situation better and actually convince Israeli Muslims to be different, right? I'm not sure how they're doing it. I'm not sure how Israel is doing this, honestly. Maybe it's true after all that Jews have these superpowers with which they brainwash people and turn them into peaceful people or something like that. I don't know, but it seems that Israel has the capability to change Muslims and to turn them into different people and to integrate them and have them more peaceful and all that. It seems to work. So if Israel openly is anti-Islamic, of course this would be a problem. I see that as well, which is why people like me should be out there and should be doing this. Alhamdulillah. Zionist mind control. Exactly, that's what they do. That's what they do. Hunting shark problem in Israel. I already read this. What's wrong with you? Ryan said, few streamers are ever as well prepared for dense topics like these as AP is. This man is based. Pay him his jizya. Are you being sarcastic? Are you mocking me here? Mr. Mufti Amin al-Husseini? But thank you. Hu Jintao, after Saturday comes Sunday, it's just a proverb to teach Arab kids about weekdays. Rashida Tlaib, AP, Hindus or Jews, who do you think are most aware of Islam's problems? That's an interesting question. It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question. What do you guys think? What do viewers think? Who is more aware of Islam's problems, Hindus or Jews? I'm curious about this now. I have good arguments for both sides, but I'm honestly curious, not sure exactly what to say. I'm going to make a poll about this because it's actually an interesting question. Who is more aware of Islam's problems? Hindus or Jews? Hindus, Jews. There's no third option. You have to vote for one of those, or else you will lose. This is a form of torture. Okay, the poll is out. Alhamdulillah. Giovanni Garcia said, I will only debate you if you're blindfolded and your back turned to the camera and you can't argue back. You can only agree. Mojab. I wouldn't be surprised if you actually offered that. Michael, Alhamdulillah. Zathinian made a super chat. Hybrid Striker made a super chat. Thank you guys so much. I'm almost out. Zathinian, which program do you use for AI videos? I don't do AI videos. I only do AI music. I use Suno for that. Rachel asked that AI, it knows its stuff. It does. It does. Lothar, do we know how much is left of Hamas now? Well, apparently half or more than half of their terrorists are dead. And they lost control of the majority of their operational, territories, equipment, spaces, and all of that. But they're rats hiding in caves, underground, in tunnels. It's hard to tell. They are filthy, filthy little rats. That's what Hamas is. Grimly Grim 67 AP, if you're supposedly a revert and certain people are called to be Muslims, wouldn't that imply that there are those who aren't? So why exactly are they called to convert? Everyone with foes? Yeah, well, the whole thing is if you are, everyone is initially meant to be, or is initially supposed to be a Muslim in your nature. That is the idea. Once you convert to Islam, you are basically returning to your nature according to Islam, which is why they call it reverting. But if you don't do it, willingly, then you should be fought to do that, to revert to your nature. So the voluntary or forced aspect doesn't really change the theory there, Smitty Fly made a super chat. Thank you so much. Amitrai Ben Attar said Israel should ground invasion into South Lebanon to remove Hezbollah back to UN Resolution 1701. I don't think that they should. I'm not in favor at all of any ground invasion here. Just out of concern for the Israeli forces. That's it. Ground invasion into Gaza brought losses on Israeli lives. Ground invasion into South Lebanon, into Hezbollah-controlled territory, could be much, much worse, much more disastrous. Hezbollah is a bigger problem than Hamas has ever been. Interesting. The poll says to 54% that Jews are more aware of Islam's problems. Huh. This is a difficult question, right? It's almost 50-50. That's funny. Ghost Hybrid. Why is Turkey still in NATO? It's all America's fault. Honestly, America was the one, because of the Cold War, to insist on turning Turkey into an ally. America is also at fault for for basically convincing Germany to make a deal with Turkey to accept Turkish guest workers and immigrants, which opened the door into Germany accepting workers from Muslim countries. Before that, Germans had this whole idea of we are culturally different. We only want Europeans for now. But America convinced them, said, "Hey, do something with Turkey. We need them on our side." Similarly, I don't know, Western nations and America had this whole expectation that Turkey would go a secular path and westernized path, and Turkey was on that path. But Turkey always had a brooding Islamist problem. and now we're dealing with the consequences. Cam Libby, hey AP, liking the stream. You and David Wood are a good combo. However, I dislike you immensely, not because of anything you did personally, but just because you're a Turk, and I play a lot of Europa Universalis 4. I'm sure you understand. I get it, man. I get it. I hate myself also because of the same thing. I also play Europa Universalis 4 and all the other Paradox games, and I also hate Turks. But thank you. White Trash Panda, start your own country named Chechien. Chikistan. Chikie. Steph made a super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's the one that said thank you. Earlier, somebody made a super sticker that said that was 10, and then another one with a cat, with a cute little fox cat or something. Then another one saying, keep it up. Fantastic. Thanks, everyone. There's interesting, funny news in Europe that they are creating a new city-state, right? A new tiny little country in Albania. I was actually a little bit surprised to see that. The world's newest country. At first I thought, what? Why? No. But then I thought, hey, it's kind of nice, actually. It's kind of funny. Albania announces plan to create a Bektashi-run Vatican City-like microstate. This is quite funny. They want to create a tiny little microstate as a religious state for this Sufi order. The Bektashi Muslim Sufi order. This is actually a Sufi order that originates from Turkey. And they're a relatively very, very peaceful, quite peaceful Sufi order. So while I have my huge problems with Islam, right, I would say having a Sufi order as a microstate, I'm not necessarily against it. It's kind of an interesting touch. You know, it's also funny because Albania is now becoming majority Christian, which is good. So maybe this is just for that. I don't know. It's pretty cool. You see how good Christians are as opposed to the Muslim side when they take over. Abraham Harb, hey Al-Dawa, hope you're proud of that. Yeah, thank you. I am. I forgot to change my name. When I joined IP's channel, he changed my name into the True Al-Dawa, and I forgot to change it back. That's funny. Who is more beloved in Arab society, Ryan Gosling or Erdogan? Probably Ryan Gosling. It's probably Ryan Gosling. Most likely Ryan Gosling. I recently made a tweet about Ryan Gosling, and I got community noted for that. It was pretty good, though. I got community noted. Let me go. Wait a minute. For those who didn't see it, who don't follow on X, I made this post a few days ago, 2 days ago, talking about how I was harassed and mistreated in a very racist way when I was leaving Israel at the Ben Gurion airport, just because I'm not a Jewish Israeli. This was inspired by some other person describing how they were totally mistreated at the Israeli airport because they are different. And the things that they described were basically just in line with the regular deep security searches, which they do to all kinds of different people. And that gave me the idea to write my own thread or my own post about how I was horribly mistreated in Israel at the airport. and the funny thing is, I also ended it with free PlayStation, and even included clear hints like this one, like that I talked to a couple and they explained to me that this is because of my bags, but I didn't believe them. Because why would I take the most obvious explanation? Am I stupid? Of course not, and so on. But some people actually took it seriously. Others shared it because it was a good joke. It's quite funny. Some accounts with 1 million followers shared it. And some people are like, oh, you see? it's always a problem to make satire posts, because sometimes you even lose people who don't who are on the same page with you, because they're sick of all the dumb posts. So they read the first line and then they don't read further, and they're like, "Go cry, blocked." It's kind of sad. What was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about another joke about the Grand Mufti. Forget about it. Here, final super chats. Matt B, can you reenact Nikah Muta or Nikah Halala? Reenact? Me? It's an interesting question. Libel said, what's the difference between Turkey and Ottoman? Well, now you're waking up the historian side of mine. So Ottoman were these beings that were actually half human and half otter. And those things, those animal human hybrids, so otter and human hybrids, were very, very strong. And this is a historical fact. And like any historian dealing with the history of Europe will be able to tell you this. So this is this here is what an Ottoman looked like. This is what an Ottoman looked like. And the Ottoman Empire was basically built by a bunch of monsters that looked like this. So these monsters, because of their strong nature, because they were like big and they were half human, half otter, and had like super muscles, and they were huge, people were scared whenever they saw them. And because of their scary appearance and their immense superhuman strength, these Ottomans who started the Ottoman Empire invaded much of Europe and also Asia and different places, and created what is now historically known as the Ottoman Empire. So these were the Ottomans. The Turks are just little weaklings like me, in comparison, for example, who were part of the population of this Ottoman Empire, but who are not necessarily Ottoman themselves. The Ottoman here didn't completely go extinct. Some of them are still among us and are still pretending to be regular humans. You could think that I might also be an Ottoman, and you could see that once I uncover my body, once I take off my clothes, you would recognize that I'm also an Ottoman if I am an Ottoman. So this is what Ottoman looked like. Show us an Otter woman. I can't. It would be too inappropriate. Maybe next time. So this is the history of the Ottoman Empire, which is a truth that historians don't want you to know. All right. Let's see if there are any urgent current news. Beirut provides shelter to displaced people. Okay, good. Strikes in Lebanon killed 2 more Hezbollah missile commanders. Fantastic. Alhamdulillah. You see, this is what happens.
It is totally based.
All right. With that said, I'll be back again soon. Not tonight. Tonight, David Wood is going to be live on his channel, I think, which is very lame. But I'll probably be back tomorrow or the next day. The poll says Jews, 55%. Okay, then I agree with the poll. Alhamdulillah. Maybe you're only 2% Ottoman. Maybe I'm 100%. You don't know. Ottomans are also capable of shape-shifting. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic day. And as always, I'm not going to join David tonight. I'm not going to do that. As always.
You sick in the mind? Are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested and ideologically molested?
Sorry, wrong video. See you again. Thanks everyone for joining. And as always,
stay away from Islam.